Okay, thank you for dropping by. Thank you for clicking on this video. And what I wanted to cover with you today is something that I titled Creating Cash Flow Out of Thin Air. Knowing your numbers when you're purchasing real estate, specifically rental properties. And it's presented by my website called mythunderbayrealestate.com. So, one overriding metric when you're looking at rental properties is cash flow, also known as net operating profit. At the end of the day, cash flow is king. Cash flow is king because it makes financing easy, makes getting money from the bank easy. Cash flow pays the bills. Cash flow puts cash money in your bank account, not this phantom money. It makes reselling any property that you invest in much, much easier. And it's a very simple formula to figure out, as you are going to find out by this next equation. Here's that big complicated formula for you. Money in minus money out equals cash flow. So if you got a negative, if you got more expenses than are coming in, you got negative cash flow. Now, items that are covered in the money in area are actually fairly limited. They're pretty much limited to rent and laundry facilities. Like if you have a coin operated laundromat in the apartment building, or even a single house that you rent out. If anybody can think of any other money in items, by all means email me and I'll update this slide. Money out items, unfortunately, in the expense column of the equation, there can be very, very many things. And these are just a couple of the items that I have here. You have your mortgage payments, your condo fees, your utilities, your hydro, your gas, your water, your property taxes, landscaping, light bulbs, insurance, and on and on and on the list goes. So in general, positive cash flow is good, and negative cash flow, well, it's not always a bad thing. A lot of people will think negative cash flow is a bad thing right away, up front. No, don't even look at the property unless it's got positive cash flow. But I'm going to discuss right now why negative cash flow might not be such a bad thing all the time. Number one thing you've got to do is you need to run the numbers. Find out why that cash flow is negative and avoid, unless you got really, really deep pockets, avoid negative cash flow at all expense. Some people will purchase a property that's got negative cash flow just so they can capitalize on what's called phantom income. Now, phantom income is the appreciation in the property over time, and also includes the amount that the mortgage is being paid down, that the mortgage principal is being paid down every month when they pay the expenses. But I think that's BS. You know, why invest for pretend money, monopoly money? Because a piece of real estate, its value over time is going to fluctuate. And on the day that you sell it, you don't know for 100% certain that it's going to be in an up market. What if the housing market, the bottom falls out and it's worth less than what is owing on the mortgage? That's where all that phantom income, poof, just evaporated overnight. So I don't like that. I like looking at opportunities that might have some negative income that you can turn around. So, negative cash flow, you might want to stick around and figure out what you can do to it. So you want to find out the root cause of negative cash flow. Maybe the existing owner is suffering what I call nice guy syndrome, where he's just, they're good tenants. I'm not gonna raise the rent on them. They've always paid on time. You know, maybe he's just being too nice and The way to tell that is the numbers will tell you that. Maybe it's just lazy. Maybe it's just too busy. That's usually the case. So the way to tell that is the current rent that's being collected off of the property. And keep in mind, I say property, making it sound like it's in a big apartment building, but it's not. It can be just a single house, a single condo. Is the current rent that's being collected below the current market rent? So what is market rent? Market rent is just what other comparable pieces of property are being rented out for right now. Best way to find that out is just Google Home Sweet Home Rentals Thunder Bay, and right there, boom, you got a list of all your current rentals on the Thunder Bay market that are listed through them. So if the guy hasn't really raised the rent because he's too nice a guy to raise the rent, and you take it over, maybe you're going to be raising the rent. Some people might get miffed and leave, but oh well. Too many people, in my opinion, are focused on finding real estate deals from all these distressed buyers that are out there, and they're calling people up and looking for a really steep discount. I'm not going to buy a property unless it's selling at 30% below what I can turn around and sell it for the next day. All these distressed buyers are really, really hard to find. This mindset comes from all these real estate gurus writing all these books, all these multi-$1,000 courses and boot camps and everything, saying go out there and knock on 100 doors, even if there's not a sign up saying it's for sale, and offer them and try and get them to lowball you. And then you got all these people going out searching the obituaries and knocking on these widows' doors or the kids' doors saying, I want to buy mom and dad's house because they're dead. Like, so you got unethical and just ruthless, relentless, and I'm not like that, so I really, really hate that approach. So the problems with that steep discount hunting approach are, it's a pain in the butt. I don't know how you can have much of a clean conscience going and knocking on some widow's door, but I guess some people don't have any problems with it. And it's hard work. You might have to knock on 100 doors just to find one potential property. So the solution that I never came up with, it's always been out there. It's just that I'm shedding some light on. And yeah, a lot of, there's nothing new out there under the sun. It's only rehashing of old stuff.